we always think of our country in a bad way. But then when I traveled, I discovered many special things about Tunisia. And here I'm talking about the details. Like when you go out in the street, you see people smiling. But in Russia, when you smile, it feels weird.
Hey,
Hello.
how's it going?
I'm doing well, thank you. How about you?
Great.
Okay.
So should we just dive right in and see how your bow tie tying skills are?
We'll start with the bowtie thing.
Yeah,
Okay.
let's go. Let's just dive right in and see how fast you can tie a bow tie. Cool. So you've got them level, right? Level to start out.
Level?
Yeah. So everyone start level, and then you'll have your hands in the air like this. And then when I say go, then you'll go. But okay, let me get my stopwatch ready.
No, is that I trained with this. So,
okay. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's a little bit of a curveball for you. So the time to beat is 40 seconds or so, something around there. Okay. All right. Are you ready? Let's go. Ooh la la. Looking very quick.
You're stressing me.
Oh my word.
Okay.
And then hands up when you're happy.
Okay. Yes, I'm happy. Is it good?
No, that's good. That's good. Cool. Yeah, that's cool. You can leave the collar up also. So you can not, I mean, like, it's fine how it is now, but you can stop as soon as it's tied, you can stop. That's the way we've been doing it. So this is your time. That's the record. But if you, next time you could like leave the collar up and just stop then. But that was very quick. That was very quick. So let me just save this time before I lose it. So, oh, I can maybe share my screen. Okay, so.
I did it in 20 seconds.
You'll get there. You'll get there. You've got 2 more tries. So 35.1. 35.1. I mean, you just smashed the record on your first go. So
I want to.
There's the record there.
1 minute and 27 seconds. Wow.
Here's the old record there. So you're already beating that.
Wow.
And you got 2 more tries. So that's amazing.
Representing Tunisia in this competition.
Yeah, maybe I should put little flags. I'll put little flags on. We can start having some country rivalry. Awesome. Cool. Well, how are you doing, Salsa?
I'm doing well.
Fantastic. Have you done something like this before? Have you done a podcast?
Actually, no. I was interviewed, but they were very small interviews. Like this is the first time I think that I will have a podcast for 1 hour.
Okay. Or 2 hours. Maybe we'll speak for 2 hours. Cool. Well, thanks for coming on as a guest. I guess for people people who don't know how we're connected, we met at Watson. So it's nice that we've been able to stay in touch since then. And I think you've managed to keep your project going like super strong, and I've been doing it on and off. So it's been good.
Thank you so much for the invitation. And since day one, I fell in love with some bowties.
Awesome.
And I can only support.
Amazing. What is bow tie in French?
Papillon.
Yeah, right. Which is is it butterfly?
Butterfly, yes.
Yeah, very nice. So a question I always ask, or I like to ask, is what do you think of creativity? Like, do you have a definition for creativity, and what is creativity to you in the work that you do?
Personally, I used to not have any relationship with creativity because maybe the environment I was in, they made me think that I'm not creative and I'm more like organized. I'm more for scientific mindset. And then step by step, through working with YouthHub, I found that I am creative in some way. And I think if there is no creativity, I can't really do my job, especially that I'm taking care of the marketing part and communication. So I really had to find my creativity, explore my creative potential, and then use it in order to market our different programs. And from then, I started loving being creative, and I started wanting to explore my creativity and its limits. Where can I go with my creativity? And now I can say that being creative, it's not being an artist only, but you can use your creativity in solving problems that you face. I think creativity is with every one of us. All of us have its own way of being creative, and the creativity is just how you solve problems, how you deal with people, how you come up with ideas, like all the aha moments, wherever that aha moments come, that is creativity.
Nice. I like that. So growing up, would you say, like, maybe in school or something, did they think of creativity as like, or did you think of it as like mainly being for artists, or?
Yes, I used to think that creativity is only for artists, and whenever I see an art, I say, this is not for me, I'm not creative. Okay. So it was like artist and then the other people, and I was from the other people.
It's a funny thing, right? Yeah, like actually there's so many different ways to be creative, and yeah, depending on what sort of field you're in, it can really look quite different. You don't have to have any paint and canvas to be creative. Exactly.
It was super weird for me when I first had to work on the marketing phase in YouthHub, and I had to do the designs, and then I was like, how from a blank page I'm going to create a design, and I know that I'm not creative, I'm not an artist to do that. And then step by step, I knew that it's not only about art, but it's also about logic, it's also about how you deal with things, it's also about targeting the right people, so it's a whole other thing.
And I guess a big part of what you're doing is with YouthHub is teaching kids to be creative, right?
Yes, we teach them to be creative by going out of the box, by not taking so much care of what society does or says, because sometimes kids, even though they are as young as they are, start putting rules for themselves and start stopping themselves from being ambitious.
Like saying, I'm not creative, I'm not a creative type.
I can't do that. This is not possible. This is not realistic. So they start putting obstacles for themselves, and then they start blocking their creativity, as I used to do when I was a kid myself. So yes, we're trying to remove the obstacles that the kids are putting to themselves, so they can explore their creativity, they can explore their potential, and they can be as ambitious as they want.
Cool. And so I guess what have been some of the most effective ways of helping kids remove those blocks?
Actually, when they live their project, when they see it from being on a paper to becoming a little prototype, to speaking it up to the public, to making it 3D, printed in 3D, to making it like being alive from being just something on the paper to being alive. They started believing in themselves, and they started giving their creativity a chance. So this is how we tried to make it, like, we always try to teach kids by doing. So we don't just say for the kids, go and be creative, but we just make them live situations that make them become creative. They become creative through, for example, giving them small resources and then ask them to build something with it. So they try to come up with new ideas and be creative about that in order to build what they have to build. So it's through different activities, workshops that are immersive. We make kids explore their creative potential and practice it.
You almost have to trick the kids into realizing, oh, I can do this.
Sometimes, as you know, we finish the whole program. Our program lasts for 6 months, and sometimes they understand the effect of the program after the 6 months have ended. When they finish the last session, they understand a lot of things of what's happened during the program, and this is how we do it.
Yeah, that's really cool. And I guess I don't want you to pick favorites, but have there been any kids that have kind of stood out, or projects that have stood out for you?
So actually, I have worked with 1,500 kids, and every one of them has a place in my heart, and every one of them was creative. This is the most difficult question. This.
Or maybe don't pick a best, but share some projects that come to mind of some of the stuff, because I'm interested in what kids are thinking about. There's a great TED talk where the guy, it's this old guy, I think his name is Clifford Toll, and he talks about if you want to know what the future is going to look like, don't ask an old guy like me, go speak to a teacher who is dealing with kids every day and ask them, because the kids there, what they're talking about and what they're imagining is kind of what will be the future. So yeah, I'm kind of interested, what are kids thinking about?
So one of the projects was they want to launch Cine Caravan, which is a mobile cinema, because in Boulder there is no cinema theater. There is only one in all the region. And as kids, they really want to go and watch movies together. So the only thing that they could think of is to have a cine caravan where they move from a place to another to do movie projections for other kids like them and make it accessible for everyone. And then they started thinking of creating their own movies. So they went through a training on how to write scripts, how to make videos, scenes, etc. So they can make also their own movies and make more money.
That's amazing. I mean, it's funny, because everyone complains about kids being on their phone the whole time, but like going to the movies is a very like it's away from the well, it's in front of a different screen, but it's a gathering, right? A gathering of rather than
they're only on their phones because many things are not accessible, or even if they are accessible, maybe parents are not taking there to these accessible things. So sometimes we see that kids need things that they don't really need, while if we just hear them and listen to what their real needs are, the truth is totally different.
yeah. Huh. Oh, that's really cool. What another project that you can think of?
Oh yeah, another project took the interest of the kids for their smartphones and the PlayStation and everything, and they wanted to open like a playing place where kids come and play with PlayStation, tablets, phones, and etc. But they don't pay with cash. They pay through like collecting garbage and trash from the beaches. They have to collect trash from the beaches, and this is how they can pay to play in this space. So they can recycle it and sell it to companies who are interested in getting these trash. So they wanted to solve pollution problem from getting the use of the kids' passion to technologies and make money at the same time.
No, that's really awesome. I think that idea. That's fun. And what age kids are you working with?
For these projects, they are kids aged between 11 and 16 years old. But now we have other programs for 6 to 10 and from 16 to 18. So we have 3 different programs for each category.
That's amazing. Wow. And what was how did this start? Like what was the spark for building YouthHub?
Actually, there was a private middle school in Boulder, and at the same year, there were many other private schools that opened the same year. So this, I know this middle school, and they asked us to do something that is different and that takes care of kids' soft skills. So I know Ashraf Matar, who is now my co-founder, and we were brainstorming together, and we did the curriculum of a 3-day bootcamp. We were just volunteers, by the way. We just wanted to try it out and do it with kids. So we started the first bootcamp with 16 kids. We teach them entrepreneurship, how to launch their projects, and they pitched their ideas in front of people, and it was amazing. So then we thought that it was the first and the last one, but then parents started asking for other editions of the bootcamp. We did 2 other editions, and then again, we thought that they will be the last, but then parents were asking for more. They said if you could change their lives in only 3 days, so in longer programs, you could make more impact on them. And from that sentence, seeing that need, we were saying we were happy, kids are happy, the impact is there, the need of the market is there. So why not start it as
that's amazing,
as a real project, a full-time job.
Yeah. So when it started, did you think of it as like, oh, this is entrepreneurship, or this is going to be a startup, or did you think, okay, I'm just helping out this school?
Actually, in the first boot camps, they were just a side project, but then it was actually the last boot camp we did was the night before I go to Watson Institute. And then in Watson, I changed the idea that I came with to work on YouthHub. And thanks to Watson Institute, we could figure out that it should be a startup. And it's a real project, it's a real business, it can scale, it can make money. And from there, we started and we're working till now.
That's really cool. And
but the day I didn't have this idea in mind.
Yeah, that's really cool. And your co-founder, Atrif, is that how I say his name?
Yes.
Okay. How did you two meet?
Actually, I was incubated in another incubator in Tunisia with another startup. And he was the startup manager in that incubator. So we both had that entrepreneurship background. And this is why we thought of teaching kids entrepreneurship, because it's the thing that we master ourselves. So this is how we met. He loved doing things besides his job, and then he quit his job to do YouthHub full time.
That's really cool. Wow. And I guess you sort of had like a test, right? You worked on the initial thing together, so you could kind of, that was a good test for seeing, okay, are we going to work well together? And
yes, actually, during the first boot camps, when we tried that, it was a great test for us to see if we can work together. And then during the 4 months of Watson Institute, being each one of us in a country, and then having me writing the curriculum, validating it, and then sending it to him to test in the market and give me feedback on that. It was really so difficult to work, especially that there was so different time gap, and then it was the biggest challenge for us. So when we faced it, we knew that we can work together wherever.
yeah. That's cool.
Biggest challenge.
Yeah, amazing. No, that's really cool. So we're about at halfway. Do you want to have another go at beating your own record? Okay, cool. Let me get my stopwatch ready. All right. Have you got the bottoms level? Cool. And get ready, go.
This is the most difficult part.
This is super quick. This is scary. Oh my gosh. Oh my word.
How much? That's amazing.
I don't know if anyone's gonna be able to beat that. Wow, that was quick.
Representing Tunisia well, you see?
Yeah, amazing. So, oh my word.
It's beautiful, right?
Yeah, that bow tie. I shouldn't have showed you that bow tie. I should have just kept it for myself. Right, let me just enter this time. It was, oh wow, it was nearly half the time of your first time. So
next time it should be 8 seconds.
Yeah, easy. Oh wow, that's so good. Cool. Well, now that you're definitely top of the leaderboard, I guess I was wondering how, something I was also wondering about was your experience of you went to Watson and you also had some experience with, I don't know what that association is called, the International.
ISAC?
Is that it? Where you sort of go to different countries?
Yes, it's ISAC.
Yeah, ISAC. And how was that for you, like getting exposed to different cultures? Was that a big something significant in your life, or it just kind of happened? I don't know. Was it?
Actually, I usually say I'm now 26, but I usually say that I'm 5 years old, because the first time I traveled with ISAC, it was in 2016. And it was, I lived with people from all over the world, like in Watson we did. I was with 30 people in the same hostel, living together, having dinner together, and it wasn't easy at all for me. It was actually difficult in a way that I didn't used to live with other cultures. I didn't used to see the differences with other people, especially that in Tunisia we kind of look like each other. So I was really discovering myself more than I was discovering the world. Knowing that I should live with. So at first it was a bit difficult, especially that in 2016 there were a lot of terrorist attacks in Tunisia. So people were judging me for that. So dealing with people from different backgrounds, it was a little bit difficult at first, but then I kind of got used to it, and this is why I say I was born in Russia in 2016, because they made me not only know myself but also know the world, accept the world, accept all the differences, whatever the differences are, and learn how to deal with people, not judge people and just say this is bad, this is good, but it's just we are as we are, and we just have to deal with each other so we can live with each other. And it was really a wonderful experience, and I think it helped me a lot later on. And that's why I think in Watson we didn't really have any trouble with people from different backgrounds. Until now, I say whoever the person who comes to work with or to live with, I'm ready to do that. Like, I don't have any problem. Even in Watson, I was my roommate was Diane from Belgium, and we were so different to each other. I was so introvert, she was extrovert, but then we came to a point where we could understand each other a lot through communication. We talked about what we didn't love about each other, what we loved about each other, and then we started making plans together so we can live with each other, and we're friends still now, and I'm happy for that.
Yeah, that's so cool. So in that initial trip to Russia, would you say, did you realize it was valuable at the time, or was it only like afterwards when you got home kind of thing? Or was it kind of, did you transform while you were there?
Yes, it was transformational. I spent in Russia 2 months. So the first month was quite tears and very, very bad times. And then the second month was tears of happiness, hugs with people that you love, like making moments. And it was really amazing because all the judgment happened in the first month. And then the second month, we were like, sorry that I did that. Sorry. So it was many, like the second month was the month that made me realize how life is not as we really see it, especially that I think we personally I looked at Tunisia in a different way, because usually people say Tunisia is bad, we always come late, the government is bad, and we always think of our country in a bad way. But then when I traveled, I discovered many special things about Tunisia, and here I'm talking about the details. Like when you go out in the street, you see people smiling. But in Russia, when you smile, it feels weird. People smiling for free. You should know each other to smile. But in Tunisia, you can start a conversation with someone you don't know, and you can smile to each other. Like there is a very friendly environment that I only realized when I went out of the country. I started seeing every small detail about my country in a different way. And I started taking the bad things and try to see the good thing in it without being super optimistic and not realistic. So I always try to be realistic, but at the same time, I enjoy the moments and I try to see everything that is beautiful about my country.
Yeah, I think I probably had a similar thing when I kind of moved away from Zimbabwe. Then I really started to realize, oh wow, like how much it has going for it. It's really eye-opening.
Yes, and then I received a Russian friend in Tunisia right after the program has ended, and then another girl from Hong Kong, and it was a very great experience to host people that I met in Russia, especially that the girl from Russia I met maybe only for 3 days, and we didn't really know each other that much, but we kept that relationship and we could trust each other easily because we were in an environment free of judgment. And till now, wherever I am, I always try to be in places where it's free of judgment, because I don't feel comfortable when people judge me or when people judge each other. And I think that's mandatory to be in a place where people don't judge each other, because there won't be creativity, people won't be comfortable, we can't build things together, we can't like do anything in a place where there's a lot of judgment.
Okay. Huh. So is that if you go into a new place, that's one of the big things you would almost say that we need to avoid, is having judgment for each other?
Yes, because I think values are in every place. Like if we just respect each other, we can live with each other. If we just accept our differences, if we just don't judge each other, if for example, for me, the first day when I went to Russia, and it was a huge moment for me, the day I entered the hostel the first time, there was a British guy, a girl from China, another one from Morocco, from Indonesia, so many countries. And then when I arrived and said I'm from Tunisia, someone said, "Where is it?" And then many people said that they don't know about Tunisia. And the British guy said, "I know that place. There has been a terrorist attack last month or week or whatever." And everyone was looking at me in a very weird way, you see, just because he said sentence. And people started treating me in a way as if I was terrorist there. You know, even the organization was promoting respect and acceptance, but just saying that sentence made everyone think of me in that way. So I actually didn't try to defend myself, because there is nothing to defend. But then I was just trying to be myself, and that's all. And then bit by bit, they started accepting me as I am, and they understood that Tunisia is something, terrorist attacks is other thing, and then Salsa is other thing.
Exactly, right. Yeah, organizations like that are really, it's just an amazing thing. And Watson was the same. Just to be able to get people from around the world. I think it's actually such a good thing for like world peace. Things like that are just, getting that exposure is so good.
True. And then when I came back to Tunisia, I started to organize these exchange programs in Tunisia as well. And I started bringing people to Tunisia from all over the world, because I thought that if Russian did it for Russia, I can do it for Tunisia.
That's amazing. Yeah. And so I guess, I mean, that was what, 2016, 2017? Yes,
that was 2016. The summer, and then the winter, 2017. 2016, 2017.
So a lot of what you're doing is bringing people together, kind of like creating these experiences and these events.
Actually, it was all about social. I think I was drawing my path without being conscious of it, because I was so interested in social activities and anything that is about the community and making social change. So I joined these kind of organizations, and even when I organized these exchange programs, they were mainly about social activities like teaching kids English in places where they can't learn English, or maybe do health caravans into to the medical care. Or maybe also cleaning the beaches, things like this. And then when I went to the university, I learned something that is entrepreneurship. So I started being interested in entrepreneurship, and then one day I joined a competition, entrepreneurship competition, but it was social entrepreneurship. And then learning that you can make social impact while making money was a mind-blowing yeah, because I know that after all, for organizations, you can stay for 1 year, for 2 years, but then you have to go for something else. And then if you don't have grants, you can't resist. And you need to have volunteers and not paid employees. So volunteers can come, other times they can't come. So building an organization that only care about like that don't stand on good standards is not a good thing for the community. So I thought that the social entrepreneurship was really a good solution, and from there I was interested in social entrepreneurship, and until now I'm in it. I believe so much in the impact that social entrepreneurship can bring.
Yeah, that's cool. Do you have any sort of role models who, like, for myself, I mean, like, and maybe you had the same thing, you don't necessarily, growing up, entrepreneurship maybe wasn't a thing, or maybe it was, maybe there was like someone who was like, oh, I want to be like that person, or did you have someone who kind of inspired you to think, okay, I can run my own business, or something like that?
To be entrepreneur, I don't have one because it was never in my mind. It happened for a sudden. Like I wasn't planning to become an entrepreneur, but maybe I think every trait in me is inspired by someone. If I say perseverance, I would say my mom. If I say hardworking, I would say my father. If I say like every trait in me is inspired by someone, and it doesn't matter if he's a known person or not known person. But I read a lot. I'm always inspired by people, wherever the level of that person is, whatever his position is. I love observing people, how they work, what they do. So even from the kids, we learn a lot.
Yeah, I guess that's a big thing, right? You're teaching, but you probably, I found myself when I've tried teaching things, like I feel like I get more out of it than the people I'm teaching.
Yes. Yes, it happens sometimes, especially, when you see how kids don't care much about the obstacles sometimes, when they try to just be themselves, when they try to be ambitious, when they just say whatever comes to their mind. I love that in the kids. And sometimes I say, why we're not like that? Why did we grow up?
Yeah, for sure.
Sometimes I take a lot from the kids. I take how creative they are in dealing with things. They don't complicate things much. Like we do complicate things, but they don't. They take it as it is. They don't think so much of it, and they do a lot of great things. So I really love being around. In the summer, late August and the start of September, we don't have programs because in that period, kids are not really ready to join programs. So I'm not around kids, and I feel so bad, and sometimes I feel even depressed. Like, yeah. I can't live with them kids. Their energy really great, like contagious. They give us energy that make us work hard and want to give more. And when they are not around, we just don't want to come to work.
That's funny. And so what have you got planned for YouthHub in the next year? When you're at the end of 2021, what are you thinking for 2022? Can I ask that question?
This morning we had a meeting about that. Actually, what we aim to do is to try to promote entrepreneurship as much as we can, whether through programs or also through products. So we're aiming to launch products that will help us promote entrepreneurship for kids and their families. So we make it easier for people to access entrepreneurship, and we don't only want to work in big cities, but also to go to the regions.
That's really cool. Yeah. Well, Salsa, do you want to have one more go at setting a record?
Okay.
Well, yeah, beating your own record.
It should be 9 seconds.
Easy.
Imagine we do 9 seconds.
If you can pull that off, yeah. All right. Don't like choke yourself. Don't hurt yourself. All right. Ready, set, go.
Too much stress. I'm not beating the record.
Oh, do you think it was faster or slower?
12, 13, 19.
A little bit slower. That was close though. It almost felt faster. But okay. All right, let me share my screen again. Okay. Salsabil, Thabti. 19.3. So your second one was your quickest one.
Yes.
All right. Let's change the leaderboard.
I bet the record.
There you go. Number one from Tunisia. We got Salsa. Well done. That's awesome. How have you found being on a podcast episode? What do you think?
That's cool. You know, when you go to a therapist and you start talking.
That's my job. I just like, tell me more.
Anyway, thank you.
No, thank you for being up for it. It's really fun, and there's a lot that I can learn from what you're doing. So it's really inspirational also. So
thank you.
Yeah, this has been really good, Salsa.
Thank you so much.
Well, maybe we'll have to have you on again in like a year's time or something.
Okay, I will learn to do it in 9 seconds and then have another video.
No pressure. Great, thanks, Salsa. See ya.
See you.
Bye.